in motorsport, safety is obviously paramount. Mandatory in Legends is one of these. It's called a HANS device, and with me is Jennifer Grace from MSAR Safety. Morning, Jennifer.
Morning.
Just to explain to us exactly what these are all about. First thing is, what do they do?
Okay, it's called a HANS device, which stands for Head and Neck Restraint System. It protects your neck in an accident from a basal skull fracture is the main important thing. So from a frontal impact, it will protect your neck and basically stop it breaking.
So pretty important that they're mandatory then.
Yeah.
But you, I know we've talked about this before, and you've been around paddocks up and down the country and internationally as well, and seen mixed fittings of these. First of all, how do they fit on? We've got these tethers here.
Yep, the way it fits to the helmet is through the tether system. So you have an anchor point on the helmet here, and it fixes with tethers. And on the back, mandatory now, they come as standard with a sliding tether, so you get full head rotation, so you can move your head from side to side without restraint. Whereas before it used to be a fixed points, which is what these slots here are for. But they've recently upgraded it, so you now have a full sliding tether. So basically, you start with a helmet, which has HANS mounting points inserted into the helmet itself. So this is the HANS clip, this is the HANS tether, and you see here. This section here, the middle section, is on a spring. It's spring loaded. So this middle part is fixed, so that is on a fixed points, but will not move. And this part here is on a spring. So the tether simply slots over place. You've got flat section here and a flat section here, which fit onto the two flat sections on the pivot here. You push it down ever so gently and just slides back, and that's it. And once it's on, it will not come off. But then to get it off, you just push it down and slide it forward.
And there are different angles you're telling me as well, because I know when we fitted this one for me, you were talking about the angles. Why is the angle so important?
The angle's important because it depends on your seating position and also your body. So you need to make sure that it fits you properly so that your neck and head is in the right position. So if you've got the wrong angle, your head will be pushed down or you'll be uncomfortable and be restrained in the seat. So you need to make sure that you've got the right angle for your right application of car. And
you've got a couple here that are different angles.
Yeah, that's a 10 degree. So if you look at the upright and look how flat it is on the yokes of the HANS device compared to a 30 degree, you see how much more reclined the yokes are. So for a 30 degree seating position, which would be something like a radical or a single seater, you would need something more like that. Whereas a very upright seating position, something like, I would possibly say a Legends, or something like a truck, where you're very, very upright, you would need an upright seating position. The most common is the 20 degree, which is more for saloon car. It's sort of a gentle seating position where you've got semi-reclined but more kind of upright. Right. So the majority of cars use a 20 degree, all saloons, GT cars, FIA. Only anything single seater or very reclined, you'd need a 30 degree.
But I noticed on these as well, like that one has got a different texture to it here. It's got that, whereas say this one is smooth. What's the difference between those?
So two different versions. This is the Pro HANS device, this is a carbon version, whereas this is the Sport HANS device. So it's more of a budget style HANS device. It's made from a different material, so it's a thermoplastic. So you've got like a rubber surface to protect friction, whereas this you've got a slip-stop surface. The Pro comes with a slip-stop rubber grooves here, which are asymmetrically designed to work with the slip-stop harnesses.
Right.
So a lot of people, not necessarily in a Legends car, but in a saloon car where the belts are mounted quite far back, you'll have quite a long section of webbing on the harness, and you'll find that a lot of like a long sweeping corner, the belts might feel like they're sliding off the HANS device, whereas this system here, which is called slip stop, prevents that from happening. So you've got grooves on the harness there, which are asymmetrically designed to counteract in these grooves here. So if you just see how easy, when I place that over there, and it locks into place. You can see the grooves, they lock into place. So if you try and slide the adjuster away now, it just locks.
Yeah, solid,
it doesn't want to slide, so it just stops that movement. Because naturally the harness will try and pull away as you're going around a sweeping corner, and this just prevents that from happening, so it locks into place.
Size then, presumably getting the right fit is important.
Yes, with a HANS device you have to make sure that it fits you. So how big's your neck?
17.
So you normally would go on collar size for when you buy a shirt.
Yep.
So if you say you buy a 17,
yep,
I would say technically you're a medium. So if you try that on now, it does fit you, but you see it's quite tight here. So you might feel that slightly uncomfortable, whereas you might find a large would be more comfortable for you.
I find getting them on and off is the tricky bit.
So it's all about comfort.
Size matters, let me tell you.
So it's correct fitment and comfort. You don't want to be uncomfortable. So I would say a large fits you much better because it's not protruding onto the inside of your neck.
And I can get it on and off as well.
Yeah. So you need to be able to get it on and off and not be. You don't want any pressure points on your body. So that's why it's important to try them on, because theoretically you would be a medium.
Yeah.
Whereas different neck shapes, if you had a nice, like a long elongated neck, then you might be a medium.
Yeah.
Whereas I would definitely say you'd fit a large.
Thank you very much. It's official. I'm large. They're not the biggest things in the world to get into, especially when you're 6'2" and 14 stone. Did shave a bit off there, obviously. So we were talking about installation of belts, Jennifer, and what's the thing that I'm thinking? Should I show you where mine are?
Yeah. So one of the most important things about harness installation with a HANS device, you have to have the shoulder adjuster on the surface of the HANS device, on the HANS yoke. So currently,
oops,
you have not got it in the right place. And this is a very, very common point that I find. A lot of people haven't looked at the instructions, they haven't made a note of where they need to be. They think that it's fine just to have the belts in the car as they were before, buy a HANS device, put it on, it fits your head, fits the angle of the seat, it's fine, it's good to go. That's not the case. This has to sit on the yoke of the HANS, which is the HANS collar here. It must sit on the bottom of it. It can be.
Why is that so important then?
It's important so that it stays on the HANS device and doesn't act as a pivot point underneath. So if it sits under here, then you've got, first of all, you've got sliding movement here. Yeah. So it would slide off here, and it has for FIA homologations, the way the belts and the HANS are tested together to work as a complete unit to protect your neck. It's the fitment. It has to be here. If it's here, it won't work properly. So it's very, very important to have it here. So they have to sit on the bottom of the HANS device from here, 7 centimetres up. It fixes it as a firm point, so it's a hard point on the body. It keeps the HANS device tight to you. It keeps the installation fixed and firm, so it's the best way to do it. So it highlights a good installation of a harness. So you have to adjust it at the back of the car. So it's not the length between here and here, it's the length between the top of the adjuster to where you mount it to the car.
So if you want to know more about whether your belts are fitted correctly or HANS device or anything safety wise, check out Jennifer's website. MSAR-safety.com is where all the information is. Meanwhile, I think I've got a little job to do. Better go and get one of the boys. We need to refit these.